Hi, welcome to Top Shelf Nerds, the show for nerds, by nerds, about nerds, brought to you by That's Not Canon Productions. I'm DJ, and with me are Buck and the Professor. We call ourselves Nerds Amalgamated. So, this week we had a very interesting revelation with Facebook, I hear. So I think you brought that up, Professor?
Yep. I've got a rather long article here that will be in the show notes. Basically an up-to-date list of everything that's gone on so far in the Cambridge Analytica and Facebook data breaches.
So for the uninitiated, can you give them some context on what happened this week?
It turns out that Facebook and Cambridge Analytica were working together. So Cambridge Analytica paid Facebook to put stuff on their site, specifically questionnaires, which were then used as political material to profile people and send them pro-Trump material. Except the interesting thing is there's only 270,000 people who took the quiz. But because of how Facebook works with friend networks and keeping every piece of data ever, they collected about 50 million people worth of data. And as far as we know, they haven't deleted it according to the contract they would have signed to meet Facebook's terms.
I heard something about this the other day. There was some. There's actually an Australian branch of Cambridge Analytica, and yet the person involved is trying to deny it all, although it's apparently based out of his shed in his backyard at the same address. Got to wonder about the level of integrity there
and professionalism.
Yeah. Well. He started up because he wanted to be able to do in an opportunity of being able to do business with Cambridge Analytica. So you got to wonder whether they're actually even aware that he exists. And if they don't know he exists, you got to wonder about how good their data security is.
Yeah, especially if it's just running out of some guy's shed.
It makes it look like a 2-bit operation.
That's probably what it is.
At the moment, all I'm thinking is we just need that soundboard thing with a big round of applause and a massive bonk bonk sound effect here, because Facebook, you are the biggest goose of the week.
Yeah,
you've done business with a pack of almost retards, I would say. And if they want to come and sue me about it, please do. Be quite happy to stand there.
And there's a link between Cambridge Analytica and the NRA, who are known to have received Russian funds and likely spent that on the Cambridge Analytica.
Oh, man.
I'm just looking at the article here, and they got a former employee. Christopher Wiley says the firm planted fake news. So Donald Trump supporters are planting fake news.
And being paid to do so, which we already knew this was going on in Russia, but this is the first I've heard of it happening outside Russia.
But Donald Trump's the one who's always accusing the media of promoting false news, and yet it's his own people. So does he know what day of the week it is?
But here's the thing, though. You see media organizations like CNN during the election, like CNN and MSNBC, all doing these attack articles and news. And now you get this revelation.
No, I don't, because I don't watch most of that. I go read articles about things that are interesting and worth knowing.
Yeah. That's why people lose interest in like CNN and all those. Go to alternative medias just to get their news like.
No, I just wasn't interested in them to begin with, because most of the stuff they go on with is just complete and utter tripe.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm sorry, I've walked through cow paddocks that have got more intelligent stuff lying on the ground.
And they're American sites, so anything they have on them is going to be hardly.
Yeah.
And if there is going to be something relevant to us, like my other sources to find it.
Although they do just keep declaring to everyone that they're the leaders of the free world and the defenders of democracy.
Yeah.
Even though their actions are actually anti-democratic and, nobody else actually elected them to be the leaders of the free world.
Hmm.
And they always get upset when you say that to them. So it's interesting.
Have you seen the subreddit shit Americans say?
No, because I'd rather pull my teeth a pair of pliers while...
It's a lot of fun. But anyway, so this huge data breach, it could include people who don't even have a Facebook account, because Facebook keeps shadow accounts. It builds a profile of who you are based on what your friends say and post on Facebook, and then creates an account with that info that is linked to you, even if you've never been to Facebook yourself.
That's a very shoddy business practice right there. Zuckerberg needs to answer all these questions. Like, if Zuckerberg was here right now, we should grill him to the floor.
Well, he's not going to say anything because he's not being advised by his legal team to say anything.
Yeah, nowadays you got to have the right person putting their hand in the right orifice to make his mouth move, because he no longer owns the entire company.
Oh, but he's still the face of the company. I mean, it's like,
and that means nothing.
That's the reason why I said you got to have the right person put their right hand in the right orifice to make his mouth move. He's nothing but a face piece.
So he won't say anything even after the whole. So he won't say anything even.
He's not going to say anything. The legal team don't tell him to.
Yeah.
The liability of him saying anything at all would be catastrophic.
And at the moment, I reckon he's in pretty heavy damage to try and convince people Facebook isn't dangerous.
Yeah, because I think a couple of days ago there was a Twitter hashtag movement saying delete Facebook, because there were data recording all your private messages or whatnot because of the whole Facebook data breach.
Yeah, that's literally what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually looking at a passage in the article here that you posted up for us, Professor. Theresa May is saying that the allegations are clearly very concerning and should be properly investigated. And this is in conjunction with the fact that the Ministry of Defence, the Home Office and Foreign Office have all previously had contracts with the parent company of Cambridge Analytica, SCL.
Hey, Bucky, just to interrupt you for a moment, your mic's a bit...
Oh, sorry, mate. Is that a bit better, or just close the window over?
I think that's... So anyway, you're
Okay.
saying Theresa May things concerning?
Yeah, it's been... Because they've had, like, with all the allegations, and because the Ministry of Defence, the Home Office and Foreign Office have all dealt with SCL, the parent company of Cambridge Analytica. That's the Americans running an investigation into something is a three-ring circus with a bunch of clowns on acid. The British generally tend to really actually do a proper investigation and take no shortcuts on it. They go for the whole hog, and they literally skin it and bone it and everything perfectly. So you got the Ministry of Defence, the Home Office and the Foreign Office are all going to be running investigations into this. I think people from Cambridge Analytica and SCL are going to want to move to Mars. I think there's going to be a massive influx of applications to Elon Musk saying, can we please get political asylum on Mars?
It's not going to happen anyway.
The British and the Russians are the two that you don't want angry at you, because they do come after you.
I really hope someone goes down.
Oh,
Because this is just a horrific breach of privacy. But I kind of doubt it will be any sort of management.
actually, no. They're
the
saying there's 270,000 users' data was collected and so forth in relation to this, and also data from, like, public data from the users' friends. Now, Google got in trouble for breach of antitrust with the European Union and were fined quite a few million, and they tried to fight it, but I think that it ended up being that the European Union just started seizing assets to push for it. So, yeah, the Europeans aren't like the Americans. When they turn around and you cross the line, they tend to go after you pretty harsh.
Well, at the moment, I think Zuckerberg, all the media is all looking their eyes at Zuckerberg and how and his business practices and whatnot. So
Yeah, but
they're
the,
all
the media is nothing. I'm looking at the fact that the MOD, the Home Office, and the Foreign Office from Britain are now being asked questions by the Prime Minister, even though apparently all their details were supposed to have ended a long time before this all happened. But if there's a suggestion that they've done something like this, then they're going to go back and they're going to want to go everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure there's no stored data that they're not supposed to be holding. And yeah, they won't ask before they walk through the door. They'll just drive a tank through the door and just seize the property and go for it.
I think
So
this will be a very, very painful saga and ongoing as well.
well, it won't be
Really
painful for
hope-
us.
It's a wake-up call for everyone who just doesn't care about their privacy.
Note to self: get a better VPN.
Yeah, VPNs, please, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. If you're not doing anything, be careful with what you post. Log into VPNs, delete
Don't-
Facebook.
Don't post pictures of yourself online.
Although I wonder how the other companies are going to be affected by it. The fallout is amazing with Instagram and Twitter and all the other companies that are associated with Facebook, like even WhatsApp.
I'm not too sure. Actually, who was it the other day that got in trouble off of Rihanna for posting a quiz about who deserves what, and they had a picture of Rihanna being slapped about and Chris Brown being punched. I can't remember.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking
Was it
about.
I think it was Instagram, was it, or
No, it was Snapchat.
Snapchat? And Rihanna turned around and basically just absolutely annihilated them. And
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
oh man, it's like,
Why would
seriously?
you even post that?
No, it was-
She has torn strips off them, and the backlash is massive.
It reminds me of that pizza brand in America, DiGiorno's, if I'm pronouncing it right. They posted on the hashtag Why I Stayed, which was supposed to be about domestic violence, because he had pizza.
Oh, that's too soon.
You don't just make that sort of mistake if you're the media people for a multi-million-dollar company.
Man, seriously, like these guys actually created a meme or something.
Yeah, it was
And-
Snapchat. It was an ad for an online game called Would You Rather, which showed pictures of Rihanna and Brown with the caption "Slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown." Now Snapchat, I know what you know. You ain't my favorite app. Oh, that's Rihanna's response. But I'm trying to figure out what's the point was with this mess. What she wrote in.
I'll just send a link through to you there, Professor. Yeah, she's attacked him, and there's a massive thing where everyone's going, well, Rihanna's said Snapchat's closed, so that's it. Snapchat no longer exists. And there's a massive, massive following of people attacking, and it's getting to the... Apparently the suggestion is it's going to reach the same proportion as the movement of delete your Facebook profile because Facebook sucks. So, like...
I wonder how many people will still have their accounts deleted.
I don't know, but like Rihanna's very anti-Snapchat, and her response was actually like everyone's loving it because it's been so intelligent, like the way she did it, and so graceful. So yeah, completely off topic. I know, but yeah, like a lot of the people on social media seem to be being run by idiots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, here we go.
Remember,
In a statement to the BBC, Snapchat apologised for the advertisement. The advert was reviewed and approved in error, as it violates our advertising guidelines.
so that means at least one person looked at it and said, "Yeah, this is okay."
Like you gotta wonder about how pathetic their system is that something like this has actually gone out there. Like, my goodness.
I think, yeah, social media. I think nowadays it's going down the tubes, and it's painful. Becoming like it's as useful as it is. It's getting more and more pain as well.
But the fact that some like Rihanna's statement, like that you spent money to animate something that would intentionally bring shame to domestic violence victims and made a joke about it, and she actually was saying domestic violence, like to men, women, children. So she actually like she wasn't saying just women as the victims of domestic violence. She was actually covering everyone. So yeah, like she's really like she's totally destroyed Snapchat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which social networks come out the other side of this.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently Snapchat's stock dropped by nearly 5% in response to
Wow.
Rihanna.
And I
So
think
that's a pretty solid blow to a business when their stock drops 5%.
and I think
from
Facebook
one
might be doing
post.
that.
Yeah, Facebook's has gone down. I'm not sure of the numbers.
I've always kind of liked Rihanna because she's had that feisty intelligence for some of her stuff, where she's just herself, but she always does her thing with her own sense of style. And with this, it's just like, just loving that.
Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about esports.
Yes.
Actually, can I just wrapping up that last topic? Does
Yeah.
anyone remember the leaked private message from Zuckerberg to his friend back when Facebook was in the early days, where he said something along the lines of, "The dumb fucks give it all to me," regarding people giving away their privacy.
Well, yeah. When you see some of the stuff people post on Facebook, it's a pretty reasonable statement to make.
But
And
when
when you actually look at pictures of Mark Zuckerberg, he's pretty much a lowlife. Although I thought it was quite interesting that he got upset about the media posting pictures of him and his fiance when they were on holidays or something as an invasion of privacy.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Like, honestly, you've made yourself a celebrity as a social media icon, and you're going to complain about an invasion of privacy.
That's hypocrisy. Classic hypocrisy.
It's just plain stupidity. I'm sorry, I can't stand complete morons.
Okay, no, we really should move on because we've spent so much time talking this topic.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. The esports have hit a new high in America. Apparently, there's going to be a stadium being built in Arlington, Texas. They're spending $10 million to build a 100,000 square feet arena with a capacity for 1,000 spectators. And it's going to be the biggest esports stadium in the US. So I'm loving the idea of this. Like, Beijing's converted the Bird's Nest at 40,000 people to the championships for League of Legends last year. And this is something that's going to be being built specifically for it.
Oh, but $2.3 billion projected sports revenue
By 2022.
Yeah.
But like 100,000 square feet with a capacity for 1,000 people as spectators. Like they're not just going to squash you in like a sardine in a can.
This makes the football stadiums look like drops in the ocean.
No. They spend much more than that just on the AstroTurf. Like, but it's a massive step up.
It does seem a bit over. I know esports is absolutely huge, but I've never been a huge fan of the giant stadiums.
I'm looking at some of the projected ideas for the plans, and it's not all just sitting in a stadium watching in one room. There's like common social spaces where they've got screens showing the games that are happening. And then there's also gaming areas for people who want to go play their own games and so forth, plus cafes, shops selling like promotional material and other things like that. Plus, it'll probably also be able to be used as a convention center for some of the Comic-Con sort of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I think I read somewhere that there's an idea or a suggestion for it to be open 24 hours a day. So that'd be...
You know what that causes? People to die of starvation in front of a...
No, because this is America, where they deliver everything to your door.
No,
yeah. They're more likely to die like the Japanese guy did that didn't go to the bathroom for 3 or 4 days and had an impacted bowel. And I got to tell you, that's going to be a painful way to go.
What strikes me though is it's the location, like Arlington, Texas. Why did they do this in New York or California or Washington?
Because they're horribly overpriced. There's nowhere to buy land there that you can get for a decent price.
And Texas is actually a pretty big gaming state. There's a lot
Yes,
there's a lot more technology in Texas than you'd realize.
It says there that they have 2 Overwatch teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they also have a bunch of big gaming media production companies like Rooster Teeth is based there,
Oh
which is
yeah,
probably the
Austin,
biggest one I know of.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like the amount of tech that happens in Texas is absolutely quite surprising when you look at it.
But normally you would think
Yeah.
when it comes to tech, it'll be normally people would normally assume Silicon Valley though.
Look,
Texas,
just because they're rednecks doesn't mean they don't know how to build a computer.
not that, but I meant more like it's more like a tourist from a tourist standpoint.
But the amount of when you actually look at Texas, they have actually got a lot of stuff. Like if people just assume things, then that's their own problem. Like Texans are actually pretty decent. Actually, one of the nicest states in America as far as the way they treat people and the way they embrace technology. Like, yeah.
In fact, based on the voting recently in the American primaries and stuff, it seems like Texas is the most liberal of the southern states.
Mm-hmm. The stadium will be managed by Engage Esports. So,
Is that the same company that's doing the ones in Australia?
not sure, but they got the co-owner of the Texas Rangers
Nice.
holds a majority stake in Optic Gaming, which is in Texas, and they're getting involved with this as well. So,
I've
think
looked
this-
it up. It's Gfinity, not Engage.
okay.
I think this will be a good venture. This will be a very good venture, and I hope it does well. I hope it does really well because
For a bunch of antisocial people, it does seem like there's plenty of people to go to the large events.
I don't know whether you guys saw that Vice documentary
No.
online gaming. They have giant stadiums over Korea with for esports, and it's addictive. Very.
Well, when you get I'm looking at some of the pictures here for one of the esport tournaments, and they got all the people watching it, and it's almost like watching a fan base for rock and roll group or something, where they got people holding up signs and that sort of stuff. It is becoming more of a spectator sport, and yeah, like they got boxes up in the side where they got VIP boxes for people watching. Like, you gotta love the fact that it's actually getting that much recognition now.
Yeah, and the amount of prize money.
Like it's-
Mm-hmm. Well, as we said the other week, what is it? $350,000 was the projected Hoyt's venture one for the prize pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Us nerds are inheriting the world and taking it over. So long, jocks. Get
Oh, yeah.
smart.
All right, let's.
Now I wish that I was good at a game that we sport. I'm good at lots of multiplayer games, but none of the esports.
Well, there's still time. There is still time. All right, moving on. So we've got the new Atari console. So I brought this up a while ago because a couple of days ago, Atari have announced a new console.
You brought this up a while ago because a couple of days ago they announced a new console.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, they announced the new console. I think it was last year. They've been saying that they're going to release a new console, but they've actually just announced the name, from what I understand.
Yeah. So in the first in 20 years, the Atari console is now known as the Atari VCS.
Did you hear about Atari making their own blockchain currency?
I heard a rumor about that.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I wonder if it'll be used for things like microtransactions on this console.
Oh, this
I wonder what they're going to try for loot boxing. That worked out well for some of the other idiots out there. Not.
You know they will.
It's already happening, man. It's already happening.
But this, I don't know, because if they're going with the retro games, they can't really build in the loot box without ruining the game.
Yeah.
So you go look at a lot of the old retro Atari games, you don't need to buy add-ons and so forth. It was all about just enjoying the game as it was.
Yeah, I
which
hadn't
is what
realized
made
it was
gaming great.
retro.
It's 200 different video games they own the rights for. So things such as Pong, Missile Command, Asteroids, Centipede, that sort of stuff. They also own like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Test Drive. Sorry.
Driver and Neverwinter Nights as well.
But you're going to want to play Test Drive and Pong and Missile Command and stuff like that on a retro console. You that's the sort of game you want to play.
Although it's interesting though how this was all of this, the backing was all done by crowdsourcing, entirely by crowdsourcing, which is amazing. I mean, you don't see the PS go through that sort of treatment.
It's got a lot more money behind it already, so they don't need to.
And Atari's been a dead brand for years now.
20 years.
But they've got the fans from 20 years ago.
Do you reckon they'll release the ET games?
Maybe.
I don't know.
You guys remember the ET game?
Yes.
From Atari.
Everyone's heard of it.
Imagine.
I actually saw someone found a copy of that had been like a pile of them on, or some of the other games from the old Atari systems and that were complete stinkers back in the day. But that guy found a whole stack of them that had been thrown in a dump site somewhere, and they're now worth thousands of dollars each because they're in mint condition, and it was one of the worst games ever.
Yeah, I think he found a vault with all. There was a story.
No, it was in a dump site. It wasn't in a vault. It was in a tip.
Are you thinking of the famous Atari burial site?
Might be.
Because they did find that a couple of years back, where Atari buried all of the ET games after it flopped.
This was like in a rubbish tip. Some guy found a whole heap of them buried, like in amongst all the rubbish when he was doing stuff. And it's just like
some guys went and did an actual archaeological dig in a tip to look for the Atari games.
Oh, I would love to have been part of that.
It's quite a story.
Like the smell and everything would be atrocious, but
it's worth it.
Walking away with some of those classic games take me back to my childhood.
But
I have seen a guy who fixed E.T.
Hmm?
He basically made a ROM hack that fixed a bunch of the annoying bugs, other issues the game has.
Yeah, but I'd be more looking at like if you can get some of the original versions and good condition of like Pong and Asteroids on an Atari system. Like, how good would life be on a Friday night? You sit there with a pizza and Atari.
But okay, anyways, guys, the new console will play the old games and new games. The estimates are between $250 to $300. Out, the Atari's target is about spring 2018. So,
which is worrying because spring is just like, this is an American site, so spring would be right now. So they're expecting to release a product they haven't done anything with. They haven't announced any details except that it will play these games.
I think they'll do it in E3 or some. When's that one?
That's not until July.
Yeah.
So they would be late if they waited until then. So I doubt they're going to make their spring target.
I reckon it'll be either
I wish they just put Q2 or Q3. So bloody confusing for us Southern Hemisphere people.
Well, they think they're the top of the world and we're down the bottom, but that's just because they're stupid. They don't realise we're on top of the world.
Yeah. You see, if you take a globe and you put weights on it corresponding to the weight of the continent, and then you float it on top of water, the heavy side is going to float to the bottom, and the side that's heavy is the north side.
I was just thinking about the fact that when you look at the quality of life and way everything looks, you look at the Southern Hemisphere, we're all having fun.
Mm.
You go look at where all the well, even over in Venezuela, they have a party. Like life's kind of messed up because of the politicians, but the most of the people in South America have fun. Like, they might be dirt poor in some places, but they're still partying. And they live in a beautiful area. And then you look at Australia, it's like the rest of the world's got a long way to go to catch up with.
Yep. Number 10 on the happiest countries in the world.
I've just been looking at information. They're saying here the pre-order date for Atari VCS April. The Atari VCS will be shown this week during GDC, so Game Developers Conference.
Okay. So we should hear about that in the next couple of days, possibly even before we finish editing and publishing this one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to offer 100 classic Atari games that you can buy in small bundles, or you can unlock the entire library for $10.
Not bad.
$10 for the entire library of 100 classic Atari games.
Well, you are paying that on top of $300.
Console. Yep.
Yeah, but you go buy a PS4 or an Xbox, you're paying $500 to $800, or when you get them brand new, $1,000. Wasn't that what the Xbox One was projecting it was going to charge. And then they charge you $100 a game.
Yeah.
And then you pay more for
DLC
updates and releases and other nonsense, and then they charge you for the loot boxes.
and
then
DLC.
they charge you for membership to the special sites to get other content and DLC, as DJ keeps dribbling. Paying $300 for a console and then $10 for 100 games. Hey, Sony, Microsoft, pay attention. We're sick and tired of you ripping us off.
How much is the Nintendo Switch and the old classic Nintendo consoles, the mini consoles that are coming out? They must as well.
The mini consoles are like $180, I think.
Yeah.
So they're really hard to get because of supply shortages.
Yep.
They sell them faster than they can make them.
Yeah.
But once again, it comes with a bundle of games as part of it, and everyone's just going, this is about when gaming was fun.
And now look at now gaming is going to be even more fun with Atari.
Well, you go look at people playing a lot of the online games. Like, seriously, you listen to the online conversations, and there is so much profanity, it's abuse, and just complete idiotic behavior. Like you watch a person playing an online game a lot of the time, like Dota and all that, and you listen to the conversations, and it's like it's just sheer vitriol and abuse just because that's what they do. They don't know how to do anything else. You get them out of that, and that's it. They're going. Yeah,
but it's like sledging in a game, though. It's like banter in a game. If you take out banter, you only have the game, and where's the fun in that?
The game. You know what happens to people who speak like that on a footy field?
You get stomped on. Like with the old Ataris and Commodores and Nintendos and Sega Master Systems, you sledged your mates and so forth while you were playing together, but you didn't carry on like that because with a lot of the stuff that goes on now with online gaming, because your mum would come through and just belt you to your black and blue.
And you were playing next to each other, which means you can't take it too far, because if you do, then your mate's gonna take it too far. Physically.
You'll have this game system wrapped up around the side of your head by your mate, and your mum coming in from the other side belting you to your black and blue, and then you'll be in trouble because you've lost the console. So your parents will belt you again because of the fact that it cost them so much money to buy it. So
do you have any repressed feelings about your parents to let out?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm quite respectful of my parents, and I appreciate them. I learned a lot about manners and respect growing up.
Does that include the soap in the mouth technique as well?
No, I never got that. I never needed it. I understood that certain actions of behavior just weren't acceptable. Plus, I had two older brothers, and I watched them get in trouble for stuff, and I learned from that, and I figured, well, they're copping a beating for that, so I'm not going to do it. And it wasn't always necessary from my parents, but from other people. Like, as Professor was saying, you do certain things, and your mates turn around and smack you up the side of the head for being a fool.
Or laugh and tease at you.
Well, depending on what you do.
Alright, anyways, moving on. So we've got, in relation with game media, you've got, Buck, something about Halo.
There's been talk for a while, and I'm not an Xbox person, but I do appreciate Halo. It has been a very well developed series of games, and Steven Spielberg, the hallowed man of directing many great movies and TV series and producing, is doing a Halo series, which is supposed to be happening in the fall, so spring here in Australia. It's actually slated to start filming. So, yay! Another good show to watch.
Do we know what story this is based on?
Just trying to find it here. I haven't looked into exactly what the storyline's going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be Master Chief, because that's the most iconic character they've got.
So will it be a remake of original trilogy?
I'm just looking through to try and find here. The information I have hasn't actually got it. Oh, that's nasty. Sorry about that. Just saw something about something else. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't see exactly what the storyline for it will be.
They're saying
All I've heard is that it's going to be starting in the fall.
all I've got here is basically with the initial plans to have it air on the premium net.
Halo 6 story will refocus on Master Chief.
That's Halo 6, though.
So that's the game. I was getting excited. I was thinking they were going back to I thought that was going to be the name of the series, and they were going back to the origins of Halo.
Okay. No, I assume it's the next game in the series, considering the previous game was Halo 5.
Yeah.
Or Halo 7 if you count all the spin-offs, or whatever number it is.
Is it
8, 9?
Apparently, Guillermo del Toro was apparently being considered as being part of the direction for this, because it's a live-action adaptation of it.
And that would have been great after what he did recently.
Yeah, but Spielberg's no slouch in doing things and doing them well. Like, the guy has such an attention to detail that it's not likely to be completely wrecked. On his worst day, he's still better than the majority of people.
In relation with the movie, I reckon, I'm putting it out there, it might be Halo Reach first, then the whole Halo series. But I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong on which series, on what movie they'll start first.
I've got 2 links to stories about it, talking about the fact that it's going ahead, and in neither of them can I actually find what direction the storyline is going to be showing. But it is going to be with Showtime as well, apparently. So, that's something I'm seeing here, that there's suggestion for that. But he's the producer, he's not the director. But he has got a good track record with producing. I don't know if you guys ever watched, it was Invasion America. Did you ever see that?
No.
Nope.
That was Spielberg's foray into an anime-like series back in the day. And yeah, the creator for that actually died, and he managed to finish it off to a conclusion for the second series of it. And it's actually pretty good. Like, yeah, I watched them and I've loved it, and there's a massive fan base for that as well.
I'm looking at it here. Wow, that's Half Bennett. Yeah, he recently...
Is that Invasion America?
Yeah. Half Bennett was the one that recently died, 2015.
Yeah. Like, when you look at a lot of the stuff that Spielberg's produced, he's got almost as much production as he has direction. So, yeah, he doesn't do things in a half measure. He's 71 years of age, I was reading the other day too. And he's been going at this since he was in his 20s. So he lives and breathes this.
And I think he will do well with sci-fi. He's a good sci-fi director. One of the good sci-fi.
And producers.
And plus, like, this is with Halo, this is combining 2 things that he absolutely loves, and that's war movies and sci-fi movies. So this will be a good project for him to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to. I hope it comes out pretty soon, but my fingers are crossed. Okay, moving on. Professor, you've got in relation with gaming continuing on with the gaming media story. You've got something about PUBG.
PUBG's out on mobile, and it sucks.
Now, we should hold back. Tell us what you really think.
Oh, yes.
It is one of the worst mobile ports of a game I have ever played.
It kind of stands to reason. Like, when I heard about this and you were suggesting it and you were going to play it, I have to say I'm surprised you're not being more prolific in the abuse, because
we don't want to get an explicit rating.
Well, even without the swearing, I was just expecting you to be launching a massive diatribe against them, because PUBG translating to mobile, a mobile app, I can't see how that would work. Like, they're running around and all the sniping and everything you got to do. I can't see how that would work on a mobile platform.
It's got a huge amount of lock-on. So you can get snipers, but I don't see what point they're going to be, because the best thing I've found to kill people is to literally run into their face and just spam the shoot button, because the lock-on will point you straight at them no matter what. They've decided that for your first few games you get to play against AI, and it's absolutely terrible AI. I've played against better players anywhere. I've never seen something as bad as the AI will shoot you twice, and then you'll turn around and look at them, and they'll just stand there in the open pointing a gun at you for 5 minutes while you kill them.
Well, you wanted a game to be good at for the esports arenas. Maybe they could have a mobile PUBG competition tournament sort of thing.
Nah, the esports game's got to be pretty, and the graphics in PUBG Mobile are not. And I have a fairly high-end phone, and it lags on the lowest graphics settings.
I actually saw a video on YouTube the other day where it was a comparison on the graphics. I think it was PUBG. I can't remember which game it was actually, but it was comparing the graphics between Xbox One and a $10,000 PC, and the graphics comparison was just ridiculously huge.
As in,
birds in the background there.
Yep.
Sorry, someone's driven down the street over the other side of the back there and upset the birds.
But what strikes me is how, like, whether this was made on the fly and whether this was made on the fly, and how many people have downloaded this game and are tossing their phones in anger, going.
It was made by Tencent, who are the Chinese publisher of PUBG, because in China you can't release a game on the Chinese store unless you have a certain percentage be Chinese. It's the same for movies. That's why so many movies are adopting a Chinese subplot now, because you just can't release in China as easily without having a certain percentage of your team be Chinese. So everyone just goes to the publisher.
There is actually a massive change coming with that as well. I'm guessing you guys heard about idiotic Trump suggesting about tariffs against China. One of the things that's come out of that is they're no longer going to force foreign companies that are manufacturing to give unrestricted access to the Chinese partners, because there's so much concern about the stealing of intellectual property, which is part of the reason why Donald Trump's attacking China and suggesting the tariffs.
That would be nice to see, actually. Like, I know this is Trump we're talking about, but I'd like to see some sort of crackdown on Chinese IP theft, because if you've been on the App Store anytime in the last couple of months since PUBG got big, then, the last year now, it's there's been dozens of knockoff PUBG apps, stuff that's named like Player Unknowns, Battle Royale Grounds, Terrible English.
They could even be
Hunger
imaginative.
Games. Yeah, they basically just take the name of all the popular King of the Hill style games and smash them together. But this one is, I think, the first. It might have been just beaten by Fortnite, but I think it's the first official big King of the Hill style game in mobile.
But I think they might have got the same people for that. It sounds like that work for Wish and Geek that do the listings where it's like every single freaking word that could be even remotely connected to the product.
Yeah.
I found the video here from YouTube. It's GTA 5 on Xbox 360 versus a $10,000 gaming PC. And I have to tell you, the quality of the graphics on the 360 are abysmal.
Yeah, It was really pushing the limit with what was going on in the game.
Well, I've just sent you guys through the link there if you want to have a quick look at it. Even just looking at the photo.
Oh my god!
Like,
that is amazing.
It goes from a 3-year-old child drawing a cartoon to actually pretty decent graphic.
It's because, like PUBG, there's consoles and phones just can't meet the standards. So this mobile version of PUBG is obviously never going to look anywhere near as good as a PC game. But I just don't understand who the market is.
It's for kids.
Actually, I just had an idea.
It's for kids.
Remember the old Tomb Raider games when they went back in the day on PlayStation with the really poor quality 3D graphics, and Lara Croft was all cubed and triangular. I'm just thinking, are the graphics actually along those lines? Because that could actually be fun.
No. They're at like the 360 photo, but sort of more late era PS2, where it's still pretty shit, but it's
Language children.
it's what they can manage with what they have. But I
Yeah.
mean, I still don't see the market for it because it's obviously the inferior platform. It's not a game you sit down and play for 5 minutes like any of the other big mobile games.
But I
It
think
chews
it's
through your battery. The sound design is shit.
Actually,
I think it's for the
Just
kids.
don't know
Like,
who would have done this.
I think the market's for the kids though, because kids would just swallow anything. Like even a Pokemon Go game, they'll just go with it, even if it chews the battery.
I'm just
Well,
looking
yeah,
at.
I don't want to play a mobile game plugged in.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
Play a
at
mobile game on the
GTA.
bus.
I'm just looking at GTA 6 graphics stuff. A video here on
That's still
YouTube.
rumored though. GTA 6 hasn't been announced.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's the video here showing some of the graphics, and they're saying you got to watch it in 4K to truly appreciate it.
Okay.
And it's looking good. This is supposed to be actual gameplay from the development team.
Here we go. I found, I'm just looking at the PUBG page on Google Play Store.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I love this game on my PC, but on mobile, there's serious optimization needed. And Tencent Games have responded, we intend to provide players with high quality graphics and gaming experience.
Okay, so when are they going to do it?
Knowing the PUBG developers, probably never, although this is Tencent, so it might be a bit quicker. I don't know who is writing these reviews. I think this game is really good compared to the Xbox and PC versions of the game.
Man, imagine the kids. Imagine the number of kids and people playing the PUBG on mobile and just smashing their phones in frustration, going, "Damn this game!"
Oh, I was thinking that when I first heard about it, like you hear all the arguments and the violent outbursts just when people are playing it on PC, and it's kind of hard. Like I've seen pictures of people throwing their mouse against the wall and bashing on the keyboard when they snap,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of hard to pick up a PC and throw it.
Oh, here's another good one. Amazing port. Controls are smooth and fairly easy to learn. No, they're not. The UI is terrible.
Who come up with these reviews? Are they like? Are they bought? Are these reviewers bought by the company and just given like biased opinions?
I'm not sure if it's that or fanboys.
Either that or it's just I reckon that they've probably written it themselves because
Developers written it themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
like. But even no, and not the developers, the marketing people, like the people who own it, are trying to sell it, because there's no way a gaming developer is going to put something like that up and say this is great.
Well,
This guy's got some sort of Stockholm syndrome. Fantastic. As someone who played this game on Xbox One, I didn't have high expectations. But let me tell you, the gun selection is vast. There's all the same guns in the rest of the games. The gameplay is smooth and there was virtually no lag for me.
But I worked out his problem. Hang on, I worked it out. He played it on an Xbox.
oh,
Is the Xbox version so bad that people were saying the mobile version's better?
Like everyone who plays games on Xbox, I just look at them and I just shake my head. They're just wrong.
We're also including a really fun link in the show notes this week. The PUBG wall of talented players. Someone on Reddit has created a list of everyone who posted, I just got my first chicken dinner, because they were playing against bots who were absolutely terrible. And not realize that somehow everyone in the game is terrible at the game. Must be bots.
But maybe they're all Xbox fans.
Must be.
But by the way, remember Steven? Buck, I was saying the whole developers were commenting on the games. There is a game I saw which was called DC Comics Legends, and Angry Joe did a video on it. And on the app, if you go to the App Store, it's 5 stars, even though the gameplay is horrible and atrocious, and it looked incomplete. But it felt like the developers were going like 5 stars.
Yeah.
But this PUBG on mobile, you reckon they're just banking on the whole Pokemon Go craze?
No.
There's not that many stupid people left in the world, are there? Like seriously, there was a girl got hit by a car or something with the Pokemon Go app,
Oh,
and she tries suing the game developers because it was their fault that she got hit by a truck.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway,
where's the term agency?
We're running over time, so should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, let's move on to the final topic in gaming media related stuff. I found this interesting article about something in relation with Minecraft. So apparently in England, some small Minecraft rivalry has elevated to bomb hoaxes affecting hundreds of schools. Apparently,
I heard about all the schools getting the bomb threats, and there was a massive thing going on about it. So it was actually from Minecraft.
yeah, it was.
What's going on? Kids, go out and hit each other with sticks.
Well, they're saying here that they got 24,000 threatening emails were spoofed to appear as if they came from a Minecraft server called Velt PvP.
That's a lot of emails.
Imagine
24,000 threatening emails.
Oh, I hate to be the intern for that. Looking through all the emails, and the server operators were saying that the rivalry has harassed them into illegal activity, which was the latest example. And the service chief executive, he says that he's been frequently swatted. Oh, swatting! Oh, that terrible.
I don't think they mean swatting as in what we suffer at uni.
Nope, as in false police calls. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just think that's
so
fun.
stupid.
No, swatting. It's just more. This is horrible.
Okay, now, yeah, swatting. It's a thing more done in America where they turn around and they say that there's a home invasion happening by armed intruders, so that the police send armed response that just bust in through the door, and they come in with all guns out. People are being shot and tasered and died and so forth.
Yeah, there's at least one death.
Yeah.
Oh, there's multiple deaths. There was one of the swatting where a 12-year-old boy was playing with a toy machine gun, or a Nerf gun, sorry, a bright yellow Nerf gun, and the SWAT people came in and they shot him.
Oh.
And the bullet went through him and into his baby brother who was standing behind him.
Oh, dude.
And I can tell you right now that the police officers involved they just felt like they wanted to find the people responsible. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want the SWAT team coming after you for having made that happen.
I hope they do find those people.
Oh,
This is one of those really dangerous.
Yeah.
mate, there's enough pepper spray and tasers in the world to make them suffer.
But it does bring back the whole argument about video games and violence and sometimes taking it way too far.
This isn't video games and violence. This is people who are idiots in and of themselves. This has nothing to do with the game. Because, I'm sorry, but people who do this sort of stupidity are doing ridiculously stupid things in other parts of their life, and there's no way you can blame the games for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but then the game, you could sort of blame the game for not policing it.
What? For 24,000 threatening emails that someone's actually purposely gone out and made to have appear that they've come from a Minecraft server. That's nothing to do with the game except an attack against a company and a person. It's nothing to do with the game. It's launched from the server, not the game.
Oh, right.
It's not even someone playing the game. They're saying it's a Minecraft rivalry, looking at the story here, but it's 24,000 threatening emails that were spoofed to appear as if they've come from the Minecraft server because they're not happy with Velt. I'm sorry, but that's nothing to do with the game. That is someone with a severe small man syndrome. The level of idiocy here, and the fact that they're actually gone after the chief executive and had him swatted, that is just, yeah.
There's a whole new level of low.
You were saying before about me having repressed issues about my parents. Man, if I did something like that, I wouldn't have any repressed anything. I would be in a coffin.
I agree.
There's no way that, seriously, if they find the people responsible for this and their parents get arrested for smacking them up over the side of the head, that I reckon the courts would look at the police officers and go, "Are you stupid?" This is a perfect case where someone needs to be smacked up the side of the head. It's not against the law.
Yeah.
This is a case for euthanasia. Such complete idiocy.
And what's even worse is when you bring it to school kids and doing bomb threats. That's just a whole other level of low. I understand why people are so doing all these stupid just skin crawls in frustration because of those people. Like it gives us gamers a bad name.
But they're not gamers.
But
No,
They're just
no,
bad
no.
people.
This is people playing Minecraft. Minecraft. I've watched some videos from YouTube about stuff with Minecraft, and I'm sorry, but I was getting creeped out watching one of them because the guy he wasn't a game player. He was just all shades of wrong.
It's just convenient because everyone plays Minecraft. You have to blame gamers that someone are really into games. But even then, it's still not games' fault because it's just people who are going to get in trouble anyway. They need help in some way, some other way, but it's not because they play games.
It's almost like saying it's the fault of Oxygen.
Yeah.
Because it's got about as much in connection. Let's ban Oxygen. Actually, don't say that. I shouldn't say that out loud because Donald Trump will probably try.
Shall we call it? Shall we call it, guys?
Yep.
Actually, just quickly before we do,
Yeah.
30 years since Neo Tokyo fell, according to Akira, released back in 1982. So got to give them a shout out for one of the most classic animes running around.
I'm hoping they bring the live action series to.
No.
No.
If you even suggest saying something like that or consider saying something like that, I swear I will melt you down. And not in a nice way. Oh, don't you ever wish something that horrible. Like Akira is just, don't mess with Akira, man. Like it's perfect as it is. After seeing how some of the other series have been messed up with Full Metal Alchemist and so forth.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, there have been some.
No.
All right, I agree with you there. The Akira should not be a live action, unless there's good direction.
No.
Okay.
No.
Stop it.
Okay.
Thank you, Bucky.
I'm sorry, but we just had to turn him off because there was no way we were going to allow him to continue with that train of thought. I'm sorry. Just the mere suggestion of it might make it happen. All right, folks. Well, since we've killed the DJ, thanks for listening once again. That's the end of the show for another week. Proudly brought to you by That's Not Canon Productions. Check us out on Facebook. Leave us a message, comment, ask us a question, and yeah, we're trying to get the competition set up for the winner date with DJ for Valentine's Day next year. You can shoot him if you like for even considering suggesting what he did. So have a great week and catch you next time.
And I'll be away next week, which means you'll have a special guest.
Which we got to finalize.
Yes. So there's still a mystery guest because we don't even know if they're going to be available.
Alrighty.
See you next week. Oh, no, I won't see you next. Anyway.